Martha Cole fell to her knees in the black dirt and screamed. The men from town stood behind her, hats in their hands, watching. They had come to tell her the truth. Her husband was dead. The fire that burned their field had taken him too. Now she had nothing, just dust, just bones of land that would never grow again. "I'm sorry, ma'am," one man said. "Ain't nothing gonna grow in that dirt. Best you sell it and move on." Martha did not answer. She grabbed a handful of the burnt soil and squeezed it tight in her fist. Then she stood up. She walked to the barn. She picked up a shovel. The men stared. One of them laughed. "What are you doing, woman?" he asked. Martha did not look at him. She walked straight into the middle of the dead field, black dust rising around her boots. She lifted the shovel high above her head, and she drove it deep into the burnt ground. The men went quiet. "That land is cursed," another man whispered. "Everybody knows it." Martha dug again, and again. Sweat dripped down her face, mixing with tears she would not let them see. Her hands, soft once, were already turning raw and red from the wooden handle. "She's lost her mind," someone muttered. "Grief does that to a person." But Martha kept digging. She did not stop when the sun set. She did not stop when her arms shook and her back screamed with pain. Each time the shovel hit the hard, cracked earth, she whispered the same words, like a prayer only she could hear. "This land is not dead, it is only sleeping." The men shook their heads and walked away, leaving her alone under a purple sky, still digging, still crying, still refusing to quit. She did not know yet if the land would ever give her anything back. But she knew this: she would not bury her hope beside her husband. Not today. Martha heard the horse before she saw it. Slow hooves crunched on the dry road. She stood up straight in her wheat field, wiping sweat from her eyes. A tall man sat on a black horse, watching her. His clothes were clean. His boots had no dust on them. A silver watch chain caught the sunlight at his belt. This man had never touched dirt in his life. Martha could see that from 50 steps away. "You must be Martha Cole," the man said. He tipped his hat, but his smile did not reach his eyes. "Name's Jasper Wren. I own the land east of here." Martha said nothing. She held her shovel tight, like it could protect her from something she could not yet name. Jasper looked out at her golden field. His eyes moved slow across the wheat, like a hungry man staring at a warm meal. "They say you turned burnt soil into gold," he said. "I did not believe it, so I came to see for myself." "Well, now you've seen it," Martha said. Her voice came out flat and careful. "You can go on your way now." Jasper laughed, but it was a cold sound. It had no joy in it. "A field like this is worth a lot of money, Mrs. Cole," he said. "More than a widow woman needs a loan." There it was, the real reason he came. "I'm not selling," Martha said, standing tall despite the fear crawling up her back. "I did not ask you to sell," Jasper said softly. His smile grew sharper. "I'm asking you to think. That stream feeding your field, it runs through my land first." Martha's stomach dropped like a stone into deep water. "You wouldn't," she whispered. "I'd hate for something to happen to this pretty crop of yours," Jasper said. He turned his horse to leave. "I'll be back in 1 week for your answer." He rode off, leaving dust behind him. Martha stood alone in her golden field, her heart pounding harder than it had in 2 long years. 3 days passed, and the stream began to slow. At first, Martha told herself it was nothing, just the dry season. But by the 4th day, the water was barely a whisper crawling over the stones. Her wheat, once tall and proud, started to droop like tired soldiers after a long march. Martha stood at the edge of her field. Something broke inside her chest, not her heart. Her heart was too stubborn to break. It was something else, something like fire. "No," she said out loud, to no one but the wind. "I did not survive burnt soil and cold winters just to let a rich man steal my miracle." She marched to town that same afternoon, boots kicking up dust with every angry step. There was an old sheriff there, and older still, a law book her husband once spoke of, back when he was alive and full of hope for this valley. "Water rights," Martha said, slapping her hand on the sheriff's desk. "Jasper Wren says he owns the water. I need to know if that's true. I need to know if it's fair." The old sheriff pulled out dusty maps. He read slow while Martha paced like a caged animal. "Well now," he said, scratching his gray beard. "Says here Jasper owns the land the stream runs through. But it also says here," he tapped a faded line, "any farmer using that water before he bought the land keeps the right to it. Old rule, still standing law." Hope filled Martha's chest, sharp and sudden. "He can't cut off my water." "Not lawfully," the sheriff said. "But Mrs. Cole, a man like Jasper doesn't care much for lawful. He cares what he can get away with. You'll need proof, witnesses. You'll need to be braver than most folks I know." "I've been brave since I buried my husband," Martha said quietly. "I can be brave for one more fight." That night, under clouds heavy with storm, Martha rode to every farm in the valley. She knocked on doors. She told her story. One by one, tired farmers agreed to stand beside her. Lightning cracked the sky like the anger of the whole earth the morning Jasper Wren returned. The whole valley was waiting for him. He rode up slow, that same cold smile on his face. He expected to find a broken, desperate widow, ready to sign away her land. Instead, he found Martha standing in front of her wilting field, a dozen farmers around her, the old sheriff among them, and a folded paper held tight in her shaking hand. Jasper's smile slipped just a little. "Mrs. Cole," he said, forcing his voice calm, "I trust you've thought about my offer." "I have," Martha said, stepping forward. Her voice did not shake, though her heart pounded like a war drum. "My answer is no. This land is mine. This water is mine by old law and by right. You have no claim to steal it." "Careful now," Jasper said. His charm slipped, showing something colder underneath. "You're a woman alone against a man with money and power. Who do you think the world will believe?" "She's not alone," the sheriff said, stepping forward with the farmer's clothes behind. "This valley stands with Martha Cole. This paper says you're breaking the law, Mr. Wren. Cut that water off again, and it won't just be Martha coming after you. It'll be every farmer here, and the courts too." For a long, heavy moment, nobody moved. Wind rustled through the dying wheat. Far off, thunder from last night's storm still echoed like a warning. Jasper looked at Martha, truly looked at her, maybe for the first time. He saw not a weak widow he could scare. He saw a woman who turned dead soil into gold with nothing but her bare hands and a heart too stubborn to quit. Slowly, Jasper understood he had lost. "Fine," he said, bitter, his jaw tight. "Keep your water, keep your field. It's worth nothing to me anyway." He turned his horse and rode away. He never came back. The moment his shadow vanished over the hill, the farmers cheered. Someone opened the gate upstream. The water rushed forward, fast and free, rolling into Martha's field like a blessing from the sky. Martha fell to her knees in the mud. This time she was crying from joy.